excited to see my next guest in the studio, and I did say to her, once we got our hands on you, we will not let you go. And this is the lovely Nadine Searle. Now, she came in a year ago and was talking about a calendar she was involved in. She was diagnosed with breast cancer at the end of 2022, and delighted to welcome her into the studio. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me again, Sarah.
You were in talking about that.
It was a year ago, yes, when we were celebrating the calendar that we've done.
Right.
So, yeah.
Let's go back to that day then, because that was a lovely calendar, and there was some brilliant pictures that were taken, and it was all about raising funds, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Raising funds and awareness for breast cancer now, and we did raise nearly £3,000, so proud of that. But it was such a good experience, and we were lucky enough to come and talk to you about it.
And it was one of those calendars where you sort of have strategically placed things and nothing else. What month were you, and what were the things that were strategically placed?
I was Miss July. I loved it. And I was on the telephone, and I had nothing but a pink satin sheet. And it was very tastefully done. So the photo shoot itself was amazing. I think empowering.
I think that's what's lovely about these calendars, because everyone looked amazing. And it doesn't matter how old you are, what weight you are, what you've been through. Everyone has it in them to look amazing. We sometimes think that's the preserve of the supermodels, but it's not.
You're absolutely right. I was very self-conscious, but Sharon, who was in with me last year, the photographer, made us all feel comfortable, and she made us look gorgeous. So very grateful. It is alarmingly
coming to that time of the year again, the calendar, the fundraising. Will there be another one, do you think, or is that your modelling career over with now?
I'm up for it, but I know Sharon, who organised it all, she's never going there again. It was a bigger project than she imagined.
It is, isn't it?
But I'm really up for anything to raise awareness and raise funds, actually. So calendar, whatever it is, and that's what I'm doing now. A lot of getting awareness out there and that kind of thing. So
now you are an enormously positive person, and but when you got that diagnosis, when you heard the words "you have cancer," your mind instantly feared the worst, didn't it?
I think it is. I was saying earlier, I've got my friend Karen with me today, who's been through cancer herself several times, and I don't remember anyone saying you have cancer, but I was being tested for cancerous cells, and you're worried about everything. My mind went instantly to, I'm going to die. I defy anyone not to do that. And then the fear started coming in about the treatment, chemotherapy, that word, terrifying, losing my hair. You know, it's a big thing. I was really worried about that. And the treatment is quite brutal. You know, I had about 2 years of treatment, and I'm through it now and everything's good. But it was hard.
You're through it now, but it must change you, because we all feel invincible. I know that lots of people get cancer, but you never think that you're going to be one of those people.
No, I didn't think so. I had no signs. It was picked up on a routine mammogram. Complete shock. And yes, you're right, it has changed me visually. I've got a smaller bust, I've got less hair, I'm definitely a different person, but personality wise it's changed my outlook on life. I haven't got those fears anymore. I've faced those fears, and I'm very grateful that I've got through them. This is what I want to share with other people. I want to help take away that fear, because everyone is scared, and even the word cancer, you know, it's scary, isn't it?
But so prior to this, you already had experience in sort of teaching people, and I think I need a lesson in this, how to stay calm in life.
Yeah, exactly.
I was talking to one of my earlier guests, who's an amazing person, about, you know, sometimes as women we talk about all the negatives, and we talk ourselves out of, you know, having out of being successful in lots of ways by undermining ourselves.
We do, and a lot of that comes from nerves and feeling a little bit like we're an imposter, that kind of thing. You know, we're not there to show off, but we do need to. And you're right, my business before my diagnosis was as a calmer self coach, so I help people be calm. We all need that, you're absolutely right. And when I had my diagnosis and going through the treatment, I lent into that method, my calmer self method, heavily. So I know how good it is, and I know that people that have a cancer diagnosis need it too. So now I have that focus to help people with cancer.
I spend a lot of time with anxious thoughts going through my head. So I'll just give you an example of a dream I had the other night, where I dreamt that I was late for work, and for some unknown reason I thought I'd go to work on roller skates. I can't roller skate, and of course inevitably I didn't get there on time. I was floundering around on these roller skates, and that is an indication of anxiety. And I think a lot of people have these kind of weird anxious dreams, and I think a lot of us, we're sort of juggling so many things. So where would you start then with your method? With someone who came to you with such a dream?
And it's very common. That kind of dream is very, very common. We're going to be late for something, and it's always inappropriate wearing things and everything. So yes, the first thing is it's anxiety. Recognise it. Everyone's anxiety is different. So I do a process called recognise and release. So I work with people and we recognise what their anxiety feels like for them, and because it's physical and emotional, and then I teach them a very simple process how they can actually let that go. A lot of it is simple breathing, a bit of mindfulness, a bit of guided meditation, and that is the first step that I teach in my 6-step program. So that's...
Is it ever too late? Are some people so tangled up in anxiety that they...
It's a good question to ask. Is it ever too late? Because people say to me, they come to me when they're in crisis. Why wouldn't they? You know, we don't deal with this as a preventative. We come when we have a problem, and it's never too late. Never too late. So we can always improve on our situation.
Right. So you get your diagnosis and you have to apply your own theories to yourself. Was that challenging at times?
Very, very. And to remember to do what I tell other people to do. That was the biggest thing. I had a very good friend who said to me, this is your time to receive now, when I got my diagnosis. And that touched my heart, because I am a giver. I want to help other people all the time. But to actually then learn and sit in that treatment and all the things that were going on for me and receive all the love and kindness and advice that I was given.
Was the treatment all that you feared it would be? What was the process like?
It wasn't as bad as I feared, actually. I'm glad to say. I was so scared of chemotherapy, and it wasn't as bad. It was horrible, but it wasn't as bad. And your body recovers and heals, and that's amazing. That's a good life lesson. I had 2 lots of surgery. I loved that, actually. I was just pleased to get through the anaesthetic and actually go through. So I had a lot of joy around the surgery, which might sound a bit strange, but I was really pleased to go through because I was so nervous of it. And then radiotherapy afterwards, which... at the time doesn't feel like it's doing anything, but it's very intense, and it does. So you have the same kind of side effects as you do with chemotherapy.
You hear that word scanxiety, don't you?
Yes,
so it's the whole thing about having the scan and wondering what it's been up to and how it is.
That's real. That's real.
I can imagine, but it's been for you. The treatment's now stopped, and you're well.
Yes, but I have to say, and I'm not going to put a negative on it, but just as everyone feels the same, it never goes away. That anxiety is still there in the background because you still have tests to go forward, and that's good. So you're quite often wondering, is it going to come back? Is there something, you know, what can I do to prevent that? So it's still there in the background, but again, we can manage it.
You're working with people who've been affected by cancer now, and you've done a lot of work locally as well.
Yes,
as a cancer ambassador. Tell us more about that.
Yes, I love that term, cancer ambassador. I'm actually involved with an organisation, and it's HVA, which is Hastings Voluntary Action, because I'm from Hastings. That's a charity, and they are funded by Macmillan to really raise awareness and open conversations about cancer in the Hastings area. And I'm so pleased to be involved with that. We're called champions, and I love that. So ambassador, champion, I'll take those. But it's raising awareness and getting it out there. And also, I'm so lucky now to be able to find out about all the resources that are out there, because I'm nosy and I want to find out, and then I can share it with people.
This is it. You don't know what's out there. And it's just things like paying all the hospital car parking, having time off work, claiming any sort of benefits if it impacts on your income. There are lots of things associated with cancer that people don't even think about.
Yes, exactly. You don't know till you're there, and then who do you turn to? And that's where we can help. And this whole project, this Hastings Voluntary Action Cancer Champion Project, which I love, is really about helping people and that personal touch. You know, you need sometimes someone to talk to you and listen. We are sort of encouraged to listen a lot. So, and that's valuable. People need to be heard.
Was there ever a temptation to just, you know, you've been through this yourself. It was obviously a very difficult time in your life to just go, right, enough of that now, enough of cancer. I don't want to hear any more about anybody else's cancer. I just want to move on in life.
That might happen. It hasn't happened yet. I think there's some people around me that wish that I would shut up about it. But I'm on a mission now. It has changed me, like you say, and it's changed me to really give me focus on what I want to do and what I want to help people with my method that I was doing before, my Calmer Self, and helping people now. So, no, I'm not feeling I want to put it away at the moment. It's my world now, and I'm happy that it is, actually.
Well, Nadine, thank you for being our Lunchbreak guest. We'll talk more in just a moment. My lovely guest with me, Nadine Searle, and we were hearing about her diagnosis with cancer at the end of 2022, so we're talking 3 years ago. Now a vision in front of me, looking in full health again, and you're very much helping other people, but not just those affected, but family.
Yes.
And because one cancer diagnosis, remember years ago when I was working at Radio Cornwall and we raised funds for a cancer centre in Cornwall, and we used to get letters and the stories that people told that showed that this diagnosis doesn't just affect the person that's affected, the whole family is affected by this.
Yes, it really does. And it is something that I didn't realise how much it affects the people that love and care for you. They suffer too, and maybe sometimes more because they can't do anything. They're there and they love and care and they worry. And we were talking in the break there, weren't we, about anticipatory grief. You know, you're grieving if you have someone, even if they have a good prognosis, you still go through that grief, don't you? Because you fear that you might lose them. So I'm really big on helping people that love and care for people that have a diagnosis as well.
So we were talking about your calmer self method that you're doing. So you've now applied this to people that are going through what you went through.
Exactly, yes, because I realised that that's what it's there for. It's almost like that's maybe why I had that in my toolbox. You know, I used it massively, and now I can see that every step is about getting a good night's sleep. It's about letting go of guilt. It's about releasing your anxiety. We talked about scanxiety, didn't we, earlier? And actually, they're all methods that people need when they go through a diagnosis and through their treatment plan.
Isn't it funny how little things can make a difference? So sometimes for me, it will literally be stepping outside in the morning and listening to the birds tweeting.
Yes.
And just appreciating, or sometimes I'll catch a glimpse of the downs followed by the sea and think, what a beautiful landscape we live in amongst.
Yeah.
But you kind of forget all about that when you're busy trying to get the kids sorted out and the shopping and get to work and... We tend not to. You talk about mindfulness. We tend to not live in the moment.
I think that's part of what I teach as well. Mindfulness, meditation, as I say, simple breathing techniques. And I am doing actually very soon, the 12th of October, a mindfulness walk, which is around autumn because we have beautiful nature around us, like you say. And I'm going to be tapping into what the trees give us. They're letting go of their leaves, and we're going to be doing a little meditation around that, so we can let go of things. You know, nature is always there to support us, isn't it? And like you say, just taking a moment to look, breathe, listen, you know, that's really calming and helps us, doesn't it?
Have you had a very good response to this then? Are a lot of people getting involved?
Yes, I find that I'm talking about it. I have a little social media platform and putting it out there, and people are coming to me and saying, yes, I really need that. What you're doing is helping, you know. So I feel that this is my mission now. This is definitely what I'm passionate about, to help people because there is a need, and to get it talked about, because we still have a bit of a stigma around the word cancer, and when people go through treatment sometimes they hide it, they don't talk about it. So getting the conversation out there. I have a little group, a monthly support group called Cancer Conversations. I've titled it that on purpose, to say to anyone to come along if you want to talk or ask a question, and those are monthly drop-ins, and the people that come to that, I just feel so honoured and humbled by the people that come along, and actually they just want to talk, they want to be heard, and they get so much from that. So I'm glad that I do that regularly as well.
And I suppose that it's everyone's own personal journey, and they all face that differently, and they have different anxieties depending on where they are in life, whether they're younger, older, grandchildren, children.
Yes, yeah, I do think I feel quite lucky that I was a bit older when I got my diagnosis, because I didn't have to worry about young children. I didn't have to worry about work. I could step away from my work because I'm self-employed. So I feel grateful for that, because I don't know how people manage with small children and holding down a job as well. I don't think I could have done that.
What was it like then going back into work and rebuilding your business?
A good thing for me to think about, really, because I don't think I've really got back to it. It's changed, as we say. I've changed and my work has changed, but I'm really aware of the balance of rest and activity now. My self-care is higher than it was, because it needs to be. So I'm not doing as much as I used to do. People think I do a lot, but I don't really. I rest a lot because I need to. I'm still recovering from the side effects of the treatment. So.
And what about family and friends as well? I think sometimes you go through something like this and you realise who's really important in life and who's there for you, and who's a little bit more superficial in your life.
Oh, so much. I've got chills when you said that, because that really touched my heart. I've lost a few people through this, through just distance, you know, people that I thought would step up that didn't. And I found people that I didn't know were there. So it's amazing how that works. That's naturally what happens, I think. And again, I'm becoming a bit more selfish, and I need to be that. So I'm saying no to things. I'm not doing things that I would have done before. So you do lose a few people through that. But I feel it's meant to be. It's almost on my path. That's what it's meant to be.
Well, I'm very
doing.
pleased you said yes to being a Lunchbreak guest and come into our studio to actually do that as well.
am I.
It's been absolutely lovely seeing you. Just to remind us where we can find out more about your Calmer Self method and about your meetings as well. Is there anywhere we can find out more?
Yes, the best place to look is my website, which is www.calmerself.co.uk, and that is Calmer, CALMER.
And of course, there are lots of resources available locally for people who are facing that diagnosis as well.
There's so much, and I share those as well. So if you've got any questions, you want to know anything, then send me a message, because I will help if I can, and if I can't help, I'll find out.
Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming in, Nadine Searle, who is our Lunchbreak guest today.